This is your government video for Active Learning number 4. In Active Learning number 4, we're going to be doing debate arguments. I want you to start to think about ways that you can reason certain points of view. So the Active Learning question is this. You're going to first pick a debate topic. You can pick either state government's rights versus federal government rights, or the individual rights of people versus government authority in general. Once you've chosen one of your debate topics, the first thing you have to do is write 3 full sentences describing an issue that the founding fathers were concerned about, which highlights the topic that you've picked. So in our discussion of the Declaration, of the Articles of Confederation, and the Constitutional Convention, you should be able to come up with at least one issue that was happening back at the time that you can write about in one of these 2 debate topics. Then you're going to write 3 sentences describing how your particular topic manifests itself today. So come up with a current issue. This can be a political issue, it can be economic or social, that highlights either states versus federal rights or individual rights of people versus government authority. If you're having some trouble coming up with an idea for a current political issue, I've got a couple of examples if you want to look through them. The first one that I was thinking about is mass surveillance by the federal government. After 9/11, we had a massive terrorist attack on the United States, and the federal government decided to start a surveillance program using the National Security Agency. And the NSA started to collect metadata on American citizens. Now, the Constitution says that the government is not allowed to collect evidence or surveil you without a warrant. And clearly they do not have a warrant to surveil every American citizen in the United States. So a lot of people say that this is the government's using too much authority. They're infringing upon our freedom of speech, our right against government intrusion into our personal lives. And the government would say, hey, we're just trying to protect ourselves. We're doing this because we think it's necessary to protect from other terrorist attacks. So which do you think is true? I want you to think about some of those issues. For the other one, state versus federal rights, I was thinking about public school education. So for the most part, public school education is funded and regulated by state governments. And so we have state governments are the ones who tax the citizens, who provide funding, who set up, what types of topics students have to learn in each grade. But there is also a federal Department of Education, which oversees issues in education. They can start federal programs. They can certainly fund particular areas in states which are having underfunding problems. So what do we think is right? Do we think that we have good public school education? If you don't think that public school education is a good education, then how do we fix that? Do we want the federal government to step in? If the federal government controls education, then all of the students in schools are funded equally and they teach all of the same topics in every single grade. If it's done state by state or even district by district, then things start to be different. And students in one area can get a very good education and students in a different area get a bad education. So which one do you think would be better?